Hello and welcome to Conversations with Irma. My goal, is to give you the best experience. An experience of thinking, of being transformed, of being inspired. Because I always want genuine and true conversations. I want value, I want transformation, I want healing, I want purpose, all those beautiful things that we're looking for, you and I, because we are searching for meaning and value. And I believe the real secret is found in connection. So I'm happy to be here on this episode, and the person who is with me, trust me, he is so interesting. He is an author, yes. He's writing books and publishing books, and I really want him to help me, so I can do that sometime in the future, who knows. He's also a leadership trainer. He's really doing so many things, and what I love about him is that everything that he's doing, it has an impact. And his target is to inspire and to help as many people as possible. So help me welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Pastor HASSAN.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
This is nice.
Yeah.
I remember I wanted to have you last weekend.
Yes.
We couldn't make it, but this is a pleasure.
A pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me on this show.
So, Pastor HASSAN, by the way, I didn't say that he was a pastor as well. So he's doing all the amazing things, and at the same time, he's teaching the Bible. So he will take us through his journey.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Tell me, how did you become all that? An author, a trainer, you're holding an MBA, you are a pastor, all that, please.
Yeah.
How old are you? When did you do all that?
No, it's really been a journey. Yeah, it's a journey of really unlocking the purpose and passion that God has given me. And like you said, I'm excited about people and helping people. And you can only give what you have. So I've been on a quest of, learning, adding more knowledge and understanding so I can help people better. So I've been on this journey for a while now. I'm quite old. I'm almost 40 years. I'm 38. And I am married. I have 4 children.
Wow.
And I'm really passionate about seeing people's purposes unleashed and unlocked. I feel that my mission and purpose in life is to help others find theirs. And I do that through different things, through mentorship, through coaching, through training, through ministry, preaching of the word, and through writing, through communicating, and it's an exciting journey.
Wow. Yeah. So how do you define purpose?
Wow, that's a deep question. I didn't know you were going to dive deep in right at the beginning. Yeah, so I would define purpose as the original intention of a thing, the original intent of a thing, the reason why something or someone was created. And I believe that all of us were created to fulfill a certain purpose on the earth. And with that creation comes different gifts, different passions, comes different experiences, comes different ideas. All those things together kind of form you to be able to live out a certain purpose. Like the way I was wired, the gifts God gave me was really for me to be able to do that which He called me to do. Purpose is a difficult thing to come across because it is said that about 5 to 10% ever discover their purpose in life. 90% to 95% really just go through life doing what they need to do, and they die, and yeah.
Wow. So why is it so difficult for people to discover their reason of existence?
Different reasons. Number one is that the hustle of life. You go to school, study a certain trade or specialize in a certain skill set, and then you get a job, you're promoted in the job, life happens, you become a parent, you start paying school fees, you're paying a mortgage. Before you know it, you're retiring. And when you retire, now you take care of your health to make sure you retire well. So it's just life happens, people don't give it a lot of thought. Number two is that it comes with quite a bit of risk, and people don't want to take the risk of finding and walking your purpose sometimes demands taking a journey that very few people have taken. Sometimes it demands letting go of opportunities. Sometimes it demands putting away certain relationships. So all that is a little bit of a risk, and very few people are willing to take the risk. But what's interesting, Irma, is that it bubbles inside everyone's heart. Everyone is like, I wish I could do more. I wish I could do what I'm passionate about. I wish I could do what I was created to do. It's just in there, but very few people ever take the leap from that place of conviction and find the courage to actually doing it.
I love that. Purpose, or living a purposeful life, it takes courage. So there's a place where you mentioned passion, because there's the things that you're passionate about.
Sure.
So if I'm passionate about something, why does it require courage for me to do it? Because I'm passionate about it, like I enjoy doing it. Then where does courage come from? Like, why do I need courage to go after what I love to do?
You see, not everything you love to do is actually easy to do. You know, so for many people, the things they're passionate about are things that you would say are out of this world. You know, I have a friend of mine who is passionate about rehabilitating prostitutes, getting them off the streets, reskilling and upskilling them and finding them something to do, and then getting people to partner with her so that she can get them some kind of economic activity. That's hard.
It is.
But every time she drives by the Kigali streets at night in the corners and she sees those ladies selling their bodies, not because they want to, but because they have to put food on their table, they have little ones. Her heart breaks, you know. But actually getting to a place where now you form an organization that does that and scales it and grows it is not easy. It's not an easy thing. So usually most passions are not mainstream. They're not things that people do as jobs, that people form companies. They're not like trading. They're usually tough things that humanity is facing. They're usually injustices, some kind of injustice going on, or unfairness, or just so that's why, like you've said, it requires a lot of courage to follow your passion. Just because you're passionate doesn't mean it's always easy to go for it. That's why very many people, their passion, the candle light just dims and burns out, never having done something, because it's really hard. Being able to move from a place of passion to a place of actually doing something, that is the hardest journey to go.
That is the hardest journey. And purpose, because it's the original intent, it's the reason of a thing, or even a person. So it's the reason why God created you, the reason why you're here. And if that reason is there, your creator is the only one who can know the reason. And also going to that creator of yours and asking him, you know, okay, lead me, show me my purpose, show me how I'm supposed to do it. Then that automatically tells you that it's not going to be easy, because it's going to be beyond you. It's going to be something big.
Absolutely.
Because if it was small, you won't need God to help you accomplish
Absolutely
that.
not, yeah.
It's always beyond you.
Always beyond you. When it comes to fulfilling a God-sized assignment or purpose, it does need God, because God doesn't do small things. And God, when God puts a purpose or a burden on your heart, it's always to do things big. You know, go back to the issue of prostitution. How many women here are disadvantaged to a point of selling their body in Kigali? Many. In the hundreds and thousands. And I believe that everyone that God has burdened for that, God has given the skill set, and that person can find a way of getting all of them off the street. It is possible, but it's big. And it's challenging. So very many people just get into a spot of fear and they just can't move because it's too big. But like you said, usually people ask me the question, how do I find my purpose? And you answered it. You like, go back to the one who gave it to you, you know, who created you, because as your creator, he knows exactly how he wired you. He knows exactly what he put in you that is different from what he put in HASSAN, what he put in Irma, and you go back to your creator. You know, I drive a Hyundai car, and every time it breaks down, I take it to a Hyundai garage. I don't take it to a Toyota garage because the Toyota people have not been trained to handle Hyundai cars. So it's the same thing with God. We go back to our Maker to ask Him to give us the revelation and the understanding of what He has put in us and how we can give that back as a gift to the world.
And I believe we are perfect when it comes to our function. Yeah, and a lot of people, they are so frustrated because they are trying to fit where they don't fit.
Oh yes.
You know, you
Absolutely.
are wired a certain way and you're trying to do something that really, you know, is not your nature. You're trying to become someone else, you know, comparison comes in and people are frustrated.
Exactly.
But I believe if we keep discovering who we are, like the original that we are, like the unique side of us. I mean, you're so satisfied. You don't need to compare yourself to someone else because you're so happy with who you are. And I totally agree with you.
I mean, look at you. You did architecture engineering.
Yeah.
And look at you. You're hosting a TV show, and I can see you're flourishing with life because you're doing exactly what you love. I mean, you'll be out there engineering buildings and stuff.
Exactly. So you get me, right? Yeah. So tell us keys that have helped you on your journey to success, on your journey to accomplishing what you have accomplished so far. There's some keys that have been really helpful, some good habits. Can you share with us?
All right. Number one, really right off the cuff is having an abiding and growing relationship with God. It all starts with Him, it ends with Him. The Bible says, without Him we can do nothing. And when we abide in Him, He abides in us and shows us the way. So for me, my journey of purpose of whatever I do really has been God guiding me because I've stayed with Him. Number one. Number two is I'm a knowledge junkie. I love seeking knowledge. Everywhere there is knowledge, I go for it. So I love reading books. I love listening to content. Right now, I have a goal of listening to or reading 52 books this year. I'm a little short on that goal. That is 4 books a month. Because without knowledge, it's very difficult for me to do what I do because my work and my service is really very knowledge-based. Number 3 is I walk a journey of accountability. I've worked with friends for the last 12 years and we meet every Monday night. The third thing is very, very important on this journey is walking a journey of accountability. For the last 12 years, I've been working with 3 men and they've been holding me accountable to live the ideals, the values, to live a life of integrity and honor. These are guys who are not my fans, they are my friends, but then also they put me in line in case I'm out of integrity. So accountability is very, very important. So being God-fearing, seeking knowledge, and walking a journey of accountability. Those 3 for me are really, really key. And the other one is just trying out whatever the Lord has put on my heart and doing it. Doing it afraid, doing it with all the jitters until it materializes, but never to be afraid not to do something because of the fear of whether it will come out or not.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that is holding a lot of people back.
Absolutely.
Having those negative voices, you know, the imposter syndrome, you know, who is going to listen to me? Who is going to read my book? Is it going to work out? And I think wanting to be perfect, you know, perfectionism, it's killing dreams actually, because you're waiting for the perfect moment. It's never gonna come. So I love that you just go ahead and do it, and along the way, exactly.
What do I have to lose? You know, So, addressing the issue of fear. Many people are gripped and immobilized by fear, and for some people, they fear things they don't even know, fearing the unknown, and others they fear what will be said of them. Others fear failure. I mean, there's all sorts of fear out there, but I fear not to do it. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the consequence of never having done what the Lord has put on my heart to do. So I would rather do it and fail at it and say, at least I tried it, than living with myself, never having started something. And I keep telling people that the thing that motivates people who never start and people who actually start and succeed is the fear of failure. You know, the people who never start, they fear to fail, so they don't start. The people who start and succeed fear to fail, so they do it and do it and do it, so they don't fail. And they end up succeeding. So so I keep telling them, people who end up doing things and succeed at it, and those who don't are motivated by the
same thing. So you choose. You choose. And I think the biggest, like the saddest thing will be to realize that I had the potential. I could do that, but it's kind of too late. You know, I've always wanted to do this, but look at myself right now. If you talk to old people, they will tell you that just do something you want to do, because years are passing and you think you have time, you don't have time. You're gonna wake up and you're like, okay, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60. So the courage is really important, and I totally agree with that. The accountability part is so crucial and important. But I want to know, like, for someone who is watching us and they're like, I don't have those 3 friends. I've actually been betrayed enough. I don't even have friends. I don't like people for the moment, you know. But this is, you are saying it, that it has been a part of your success. You know, that's how important it is. For the people who don't even believe in friendships anymore, who don't want to be around people, who don't trust anymore, what can you tell them?
Well, again, you don't have to take the journey the way I took it. And for you, it doesn't have to be accountability per se, in terms of I have very good, close friends. But you need people in your life.
You do.
You need coaches. You need mentors. You need people who have gone ahead of you. You need people who have written books for you to read. If somebody has written a book of how I succeeded in ABCD in 40 years, read that book so you avoid 40 years of pain and regret and failure. So you need people in different forms, you know. But as you grow, you realize that you can't live out your purpose alone. You can't.
You can't.
You need some sort of eyes to look out for you, to look out, to give you guidance and direction. I mean, all of us, the leader of our country, His Excellency, has what they call the Presidential Advisory Council, of people of great wisdom and experience and notoriety who are skilled in a multiple of things, and these are people who advise him, you know, and if he needs advice, how about you and me? We do need people to advise us. So it's just general life wisdom. You cannot do life alone. You cannot succeed alone.
Then how to trust again, how to welcome people in their lives again.
That comes with time. To be honest with you, I have been betrayed by some friends. But that doesn't mean I stop trusting others, right? Well, one person betraying me shouldn't literally dissolve any opportunity for me to ever trust somebody. People are people. There are good people out there. There are bad people. So if 1-2 people betray your trust, it does not mean that you don't give a chance to somebody that could be of help and value to you in life. So, you know, we just count our losses and we believe and trust again. Trust again. It's possible to trust again.
Wow. I hope they are listening. So you are a pastor. How does someone become a pastor? Like, did you decide? Is your dad a pastor?
No, my father was actually a Muslim Haji. So
wow.
Total opposite. How does somebody become a pastor? Again, the role of pastoring is really shepherding people. And God, in Jeremiah chapter 31, I believe, says, and I will give you shepherds after my own heart that will guide you according to wisdom and knowledge, or knowledge and understanding. I believe it's a calling. You have a calling. You have a gravitation towards people. Your heart is burdened and heavy towards people. And it takes, number one, having that calling that you want to serve people. But it also takes other people calling this shepherding, the pastoral gift out of you. So for me, in my case, it was my senior pastor who saw me serving, because I was serving as a volunteer at my church. He saw the way I led people, the way people heeded the word, the preaching that I did. I used to preach, and he ordained me as a pastor. So it just doesn't happen. There's an element of a call, and you know it when you have it, when you have that burden and call, you know it, and then the opportunity presenting itself. Yeah.
And knowing it, do you mean you knew you were gonna be a pastor in the future?
No, I didn't. So my heart and desire was to serve people. Was always to serve people, and I didn't know that what I was doing was I was playing a pastoral role, but I didn't know it. Yeah, until the people around me said, "Hey, by the way, you're a pastor." My pastor said, "You are a pastor," and he's the one who called it out of me. I was like, "I'm a what?"
Yeah.
I didn't ever imagine it. I'd never set out to be one. Yeah, but it just happened that people noticed the gift. They called it out, and I was ordained to do that work. Yeah.
Wow, that's really great. So, as a pastor, or let me say as a coach, you get to a point and you kind of identify your niche. You're like, I do my best when I'm coaching business people, or someone else will say, myself, I want to coach people in terms of guiding them to their purposes. And someone else will say, I want to coach kids. So you as a pastor, are you more passionate about teaching or doing the pastoral work with the youth, or with men, or with women? Do you have those differences in you?
Yeah. So my overarching passion and what I believe my purpose is to really help people find a sense of direction in life. That's what's like overarching. But under it expresses itself differently. So I do pastor, I shepherd. I preach God's word. I've been gifted with communication skills. But then I also mentor, because I believe in the next generation. So every year my wife and I take 24 young men and 12 young men and 12 young women post-university, and we walk with them a journey for an entire year. We meet every Thursday evening. In fact, from here I'll be meeting with the group of our mentees. I believe in that. I've been doing it for 8 years. And we were sharing before the show a few friends that we share that I have mentored.
Wow.
On that program. But I also do, part of how I earn as a leadership consultant is I do leadership training for corporate companies and leaders. And I also coach. I do professional and executive coaching. But again, it's also tied very, very closely to what my purpose is to help people. So I believe that my purpose is expressed differently. And in each of those different expressions, there's a lot of passion there. So I wouldn't say I love this more than the other. When I'm doing one thing, I am doing it with all my heart.
Fully
immersed in. When I'm doing the other, it's the same kind of passion and energy, because I really, really love serving people and helping people.
Wow. So as someone who is in this industry of self-development, developing human capital, coaching people, encouraging them, you are portrayed as the strong person in the room. And everyone who has an issue, they will think about you. So do you also have your down moments where you need motivation and help?
Are you kidding me? A lot. A lot. We're human. It's just that we feed off of the fuel of passion, and because my work is always around people, it's the way, again, my wiring is, if you told me to sit on a desk and do computer work, and I think I would die, because I really want to be around people. There are people who don't want to be around people. It's not, they can work alone well. So, but people can be draining. People can be draining. This morning I received a phone call from a lady who is, I think, stage 4 cancer, and she feels her life is leaving and whatever. So stuff like that, when you're helping people, everyone comes to you with an issue, it just, you're pouring out It's emotional investment, right? And sometimes you're empty. Yeah. So when you're helping people, it leaves you. That's why I keep telling people, if you're in the people business, you always have to find ways in which you replenish yourself and where you feed your soul. Because once you run on empty, you know, you burn out, you can enter fatigue and exhaustion and sometimes depression. Yeah, so I keep telling people, your life has to be integrated in the way that your life and your work are fairly balanced, but it's up to you to keep refilling yourself. So I do a lot of reflection, a lot of self-feeding, so that I'm always at a place where I can serve people. But it does tire.
Yeah.
It's tiresome.
Oh, I see. Do you have any regrets in your life?
Regrets. It's hard for me to think about regrets. Yeah, I think I regret. There's some things I should have done in certain ways that I didn't. There's certain friends I trusted that I think I shouldn't have. I invested myself a lot. There's some things I should have started sooner. Like I just released a book a few months ago. I regret that it came out now. It should have come out before COVID, because that's when I started thinking about it. Yeah, but I don't have major life regrets. Really, I'll be honest with you. The experiences that I've been through, the bad things that I've been through have made me who I am. So I would have said, if I had wished them away, they would not have taught me the kind of resolve and resilience that I need to serve people. So I would call those experiences lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the biggest lesson in your life? Something that really crushed you?
Yeah. So the biggest lesson in life is that sometimes people break you because they are broken. And broken people break people. I was raised by a relative who broke me, who abused me physically, beat me up, almost killed me when I was a teenager. And so I grew up with a lot of anger and resentment and towards that person. But then when I grew and became wiser and actually took stock of that person's life, I realized, you know what? This person is really, really emotionally and mentally broken. And so I was able to extend grace and forgiveness to them and reconcile with them because of that understanding, that lesson that some people break others because they don't know any other way to live, because they've been broken themselves. Yeah. So that's for me a big one.
Wow. How long did it take you to get over it and to come to that place of forgiveness?
I think when I became an adult, got responsibilities, married, became a father, it kind of faded. I wouldn't say it took a certain length of time, but for me, when I entered the journey of adulthood and responsibility, I was able to realize that I married fairly young, so I was able to grow up faster in my mind, and so yeah, I don't have like a specific length of time that it took for me to. Yeah, but it's also a journey because there are moments that trigger you to remember such instances. Yeah, but it's I've moved. The ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you no more like wounded, like nothing triggers you anymore?
Absolutely not. I'm not wounded because I healed. Yeah, I healed. What I have is a scar, an emotional scar to remind me, but a scar is no longer painful, a scar is not a wound. I keep telling people, get to a place of healing so that you can be able to find grace towards others. The reason why it's very difficult for people to forgive, to extend grace is because people are not healed. And some people love their pain because it's a point of seeking affirmation and seeking a sense of validation. It's what they did to me, they molested me, and I would never in any way condone those things, and those are painful things. But I believe that it is possible for us to heal from whatever it is that happened to us in our past, so that we can be better for other people.
And what are the practical ways to healing?
I would say in my own case, the God factor was it for me. Yeah. I mean, I was able to heal because God walked into my life and healed me from my brokenness, so I'm able to heal. Other people find other ways. My only experience is God.
Wow, I love that. And I'm also a believer. But I want to know, especially you as a pastor, you who is a believer, you believe in the spiritual world, and there is also a fact, which is mental health.
Yeah.
You know, our thoughts, how we feel, all of that. And a lot of times, Christians or believers, they just believe we can pray and everything will go away, you know, just will fade away. But other people who are into science, they can give you proofs that mental health is a reality. And there's some practical ways, you know, to get to that place of recovery. So I want to know, as believers, what is the importance of mental health and how do we go about it?
I really, really believe that God has given human beings the ability to deal with certain issues scientifically. So it is possible to tackle the issue of mental health from a scientific point of view as much as it is from a spiritual point of view. Because I personally believe that the root cause of any mental health issues has a spiritual angle to it. It's not the only issue. The issue is not just spiritual, but there's a spiritual angle to it. So there's a place of spirituality. As a believer, I believe that the antidote or the pill or the drug to all mental health on the spiritual side is Philippians 4:6-7. It says, do not be anxious or fearful for anything, but in everything through prayer. That's one of the ways to get rid of mental health issues. Supplication, that is intercession. With thanksgiving, you make your requests known to God, and thanksgiving there is just to be grateful. One of the things that keep people depressed mentally is that people don't take stock on how blessed they have been. If you're able to look at how bad other people are having it and have that sense of gratitude. So it says those three things: prayer, supplication, and with thanksgiving. And then it says, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding shall guard your mind and your heart in Christ Jesus. Part of the issue of mental health is people lack peace, genuine peace. Yeah, genuine peace. You find somebody, they have everything that money can buy, but they don't have peace. There's a peace that you cannot find anywhere. You cannot find it in medication. You cannot find it in therapy. There's a certain peace. Now that's on the spiritual side. On the scientific side, there are certain mental health challenges that are purely chemical imbalances in our body that come from actual stress, from situations going on around you, too much work, a lack of work, or whatever, that just causes the body to enter a state of depression, or whatever mental health challenge it might be. And through therapy, talking to a therapist, or getting some medication can help you actually come out of it. Yeah. So it's to balance the two. One does not do away with the other. Now, usually we have people with two extremes. You have people who are extremely immersed into science. They're like, this is purely scientific. It's not spiritual at all. And then there are others, we have to deliver you. No. We need to balance things.
We need to balance things. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, that's a strong point. Yeah. So I know we have a lot of people watching us, especially young people, and young people sometimes some of them like at a place where they want to pursue careers. Others they're looking for something else. They don't understand who they are, and I believe they really need guidance in many ways. So please tell them something that can help them, especially those who are looking for jobs, those who don't know who to choose, even in their relationships, like who are at that place of confusion. Like, I can see different ways, I don't know which way to take.
Wow. The challenge of youth is really it's a very big challenge. Number one is that it's a place of confusion. It's a place of just utter distress for many youth, because the pressures are just many for the youth, and we live in a generation where young people have a lower threshold of handling problems than when we were growing up when we were young. Because of what we went through, it kind of gave us a sense of resolve and resilience. But look, this is what I keep telling young people. Some of these things take time. The more you want to achieve what you would achieve in 20 years, in 2 years, it's going to put a lot of pressure on you. And you're going to give way. Yeah, some of these things take time building. Wealth takes time building. Meaningful relationships take time. So patience is a virtue that many young people need today. I'll start from there. Where you need to apply yourself to patience, be patient. Well, what's the rush? Yeah. Again, because the media, social media, has kind of presented a fast get-rich-quick life where I can make it and become an overnight success. That happens for a very small minority of people, 0.001% of the people. A young kid is working on a software, coding, comes up with an invention, they buy it for $1 billion. That doesn't happen to everybody. Most of us have to work for a long time for us to materialize the kind of success that we. So let's be patient. Let's be patient. Number 2 is find people who have walked a journey, who exemplify, live out the things that you want to do, who carry the success that you want to espouse, who are in a relationship that you really look forward to, and ask for advice. Yeah. And people, I've never seen people who are selfish with advice. Yeah. People want to give advice, especially to young people. The other thing is, especially around career, is that volunteer as much as possible. If you're done with school, you're looking for a job and can't find it, start as an intern. Yeah, tell somebody, look, I'm willing to work for free, and if you find that my services are of value to this organization, maybe you can consider hiring me, but I'm not putting any pressure on you. Please allow me to work for I'm willing to put in 3 to 6 months free in this job. And let me tell you, I have never seen a young person with that attitude enter a job as an intern and not get hired. Because everyone, I keep hiring people. I'm always looking for a self-driven young person with a mind to work and to, so offer your services free. All of us started working for free before we got paid. Yeah. Wow. So this thing of saying, this is how much I'm worth. I'm like, what experience do you have? You don't have any. So build your experience, and then the money will come. Money is always a reward for good work. Yeah, and the book I wrote is about work. Money is always a reward for good work. It should never be the motivation for us to seek for employment, otherwise you'll be frustrated.
Wow, thanks for the advice. And by mentioning your book, by the way, I need to read this book. So, The Gift of Monday, Finding the Abiding Joy of Work, even on the most depressing day of the week. And that's Monday.
That's Monday.
Everyone
Hands
hates
down.
Monday.
People hate Monday.
Tell me about this book.
Yeah.
How did you birth this?
So this book was birthed in the lockdown. I was reading an article. And this article kind of, a light bulb moment went on in my mind. So this article was saying that 80% of adult males that suffer heart attacks in a certain country in the West actually get those heart attacks between 8 and 9 a.m. on Monday morning. So there's such a thing as Monday blues, which is some kind of anxiety that starts building up Sunday evening. And people who have weak hearts, who have issues in their workplaces, who hate their bosses and stuff, many get heart attacks and cardiac arrests, and some men die from it. So I was quite intrigued. I was like, Monday is killing people? What? So anyway, it's from that I did research, and I said, you know what? We need to bring the joy back in this day. And this day has suffered a lot of curses from people, a lot of hatred from people. But people actually don't hate the day Monday. People hate what Monday represents. Monday represents work, and people hate their work because people don't work in good working environments. So that's how the book came about.
Wow. So you wrote this book so that people can change how they see the first day of the week.
Yeah.
And
their work in general.
And their work in general. For someone who actually hates their work environment, really, is the book going to change the environment, or?
No, that's a very good question. And let me tell you, Irma, sometimes the environment may never change, but the only person you have the ability, the right, and the possibility to change is you. Sometimes what needs to change is your mindset and not the environment. Yeah, some people stay in work environments that are not necessarily the best because they have bills to pay, they have mortgages to pay, so I can't just quit. But I can change my attitude towards this work because it's a source of my livelihood. So I address that in the book, where how do we get people to change their attitude towards work, especially if they don't have the ability to change the environment of where they work.
Yeah. And one thing I know is that as we started talking about purpose, sometimes before you get to your purpose or before you get to do what you love, you have to do what you have to do.
Exactly.
To
because
get there.
life demands it. Yeah.
Exactly. So in the meantime, like at that workplace that you hate, that manager or boss that is not very kind to you, you just need to have a certain attitude to help you survive that environment. So this might be a survival book then.
Survival 101.
Exactly. And so how have you been scaling the impact of the book?
Yeah, I mean, I've had opportunities to talk to different people, different forums. It's really opened doors for me. I'm so grateful. But it touches a nerve, a pain point for so many people in that corporate world, because everyone that works needs the book because it addresses something that is a pain point. So for some people it might be where they work, for some people it might be the nature of work, for some people it might be who they work with. There are different reasons that cause people to hate work. Yet work is a gift that we're given by God. And if you ask people, if you had an opportunity not to work, and you had no work, and to work, which one would you choose? Everyone would choose work.
Work.
Because work has an intrinsic value and reward that it gives. We're able to fund our lifestyles and meet our needs because of work. So it's like what can I say? I am preacher of work. That's now my new thing. I preach good work, joyful work, because it actually does exist.
Wow. And where can we find The Gift of Monday?
Yeah. So The Gift of Monday is sold in Rwanda in different bookstores, Charisma, Ichirezi, a different place where people who are flying out. It's at the airport. And and very, very soon I'm planning to put it online as well. Put it on Amazon.
Congratulations on your book.
Thank you
really,
so
it's an amazing job. And you know this is going to outlive you.
Thank you.
This is part of your legacy. So this is good job.
Thank you so much, Irma.
Yeah, so Pastor Hassan, if you had the whole world listening to you, this is your pulpit, like, you have the whole world listening to you, what would be your message?
Wow. It's a tough one, eh? Number one, what I would tell people is find God. And I believe personally, I've studied so many religions. There are tens of thousands of religions out there, so many beliefs. I believe in my heart of hearts that Christianity through Jesus Christ is the only way to finding God. Because number one is there is eternal life, number two is there is peace and just bliss here on earth. Number one, find God. Yeah. Without God, every other pursuit is meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. There is nothing that you work for here that makes sense outside of a relationship with God. Number two, find your purpose. Find it. Find that mission, that one thing that your heart beats for, that one thing that breaks your heart, that one thing that you want to solve. What injustice is it that you want to solve? Find it. It is out there. You will not find it in a goal, but begin the search to find your purpose. And let me tell you, the more you begin to solve problems from a place of purpose and mission, you will live the most fulfilled life, and you will really, your life will count, and you could still pursue your purpose even as you work your job. You don't have to necessarily leave your job because you also have to live. Yeah, and I think you talked about it as you pursue your purpose or your passion. You can still work your job, but find your purpose. Find God, find your purpose, and everything else will align.
Wow. And this brings us to the end of this conversation. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're being inspired. I hope this conversation added some value to your life as it did to mine. And this was Conversations with Irma, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Bye.